course, we are busy with third angle orthographic projection, and we are continuing our journey of using also section lines or cutting planes in these drawings. So let's take a look at what is given. It says here that we have to draw to scale 1:1 third angle orthographic projection the following views of this pedestal. They've given to us a front view and a top view. Do you see that? And do you see in this top view there is a cutting plane? First time you see a cutting plane like this is called a half section. If I look from the front on this, do you see only half of it will fall away? Nee, al hierdie gaan wegval. Daardie gedeelte word mos nou nie beïnvloed nie. So dit is 'n half snit vooraansig. If I look from the front onto this top view, this is a half sectional front. Only half of it is section. I know it looks like a quarter from the top, but if I look from the front, it's one half that is section. Maak it sin? All right. What we have to do, a sectional front view on cutting plane AA. There it is. Of the pedestal showing the section line for the sectional front view and name the view. A full sectional right view. So if I now in the right view, it is going to be a full section. All right. It says there full section right view, and show the section line, and then the top view of the pedestal plus some dimensions, all in detail, center line, show title, etc. Okay. Good. If we look at this, we have this base here. You can help yourself once your paper is lined up and you want to double check measurements. You just line up like these two hidden details at the bottom. It's this hole in the base, all right, where maybe this pedestal is anchored onto something, so you can double check it. This hidden detail that you see here, that's the inside of this. So these two line up with that hidden detail. Then the outside is this here. Then the inside is this corner, and then the center line. So you can very easily figure out what parts or what is it. So just help me out here. If I cut through here, remove that, can you see that this will become solid lines? Do you see that? All right. All the way up to the center line. Okay. And then there's a radius 4 here around that you can see that you need to take note of. That we're also going to use, and all the other measurements are given. All right, so let's get started. Normally, I don't think in the exams you're going to be as lucky as having a grid for you. So just remind yourself the main axis is called X, Y. The secondary axis here is X1, Y1. So just write that in. And then we're going to have a 10 millimeter gap here. We're going to draw that grid that I've been speaking so many times about. Okay, so we'll draw that in. Top view is going to be here, our front view here, and our right view here. So I can use the measurements that's given. We've got a total width of 78. It's a square, and we have our height here. Our front view is going to go here. I'm going to start off with that front view. I'm going to use these measurements. I'll just move around so you can see actually the drawing, but you know where I'm getting the measurements. Okay, so the first here, our total height, it starts scale 1:1. Make sure you're on the right scale. It starts with a 42 from the top, 10, 20, 30, 42. And then there's a 11 below that. All right. Then there's also on the right hand side of that given front view, there's a 14. So I'm going to make that line. Then there's a 13. Going to make that one for us. Then there's a 16. Can make that as well. And then that ends up again with a 10 on top. So all of those lines in construction, going to just project that across. Going to use that just now in the right view. So ideally I want to save some time. I do all my horizontal lines as width. So I'm going to do the center here. So 35 is, if it was 70, but it's 78, so it's a 39. There's the center. and then there's a 58 going either way, which is 25, and again not 29. 58 on the one end, 0 on the other end. All right, let's start with that. Just in construction, that's the center line, so I can draw that all the way up to the top. This one is here on the end. Okay, so I'm going to draw this in here. That's the 10. There's a 10. That's the base. That's the top. There's a radius 4 here. Now, if you have one of these, that would be easiest. We're going to find the diameter 8 because we're on radius 4. We're going to place that on this side. Okay. What you still have to do here, and because we want to see the construction, so 4 millimeters away, same on this side, 4 millimeters away, just draw a construction line, and on this side, and 4 millimeters up, draw another one, to show the center. If you did use a compass, that would have been the center for that arc. Center for that arc at radius 4. Okay. So if you want to get the marks for that arc, still show your construction. Although you hacked it, still show it. Okay. All right. That's the outside. Then on the inside here, before we get inside, let's draw the top view because that's going to help us draw our front view correctly. So I'll make sure I'm still lined up here. All right, so we've got the center, that line we have. Okay, the size here is 78 by 78. Okay. I like it when my center lines crosses on the short end. Okay, looks better. Alright, then on here, the outside diameter of that first circle is diameter 58, so that comes down to 29. It should line up with these construction lines. Okay. Alright, then on the inside there's a diameter 40, which puts us on 20. Okay, that's the one that's hidden detail, so we're going to draw that as hidden detail. Keep those lines consistent. Just a tip with your compass, it helps having like a HB lead in that compass because you have to put less pressure on it, of course, to draw your circles. Right, then on the inside there's a diameter 26, which is 13. Solid circle. Okay, then on the, we need center points here to get these arcs. Now that is at 58 on either side. So 58 is 25, again 29. Okay, so it's the same, it's these lines here. I can just take this radius, and from this one, get it here, get it here. Alright, so that's the center for this arc. That radius of that arc is radius 10, okay, on all the corners. Mine is, again, I'm feeling too small to draw that accurately, so I'm going to use my stencil just to help me. Let me give my center lines. Okay, so 20 on this. There we go. Are you keeping up? Okay, let me draw. While I'm here, I'm getting that center line in as well. That one's already drawn. Alright, then we have smaller circles there on the edge. They are diameter 12. So once you have your center lines and your stencil has these guidelines, very quick to line that up, all four of them. Okay, now we start looking at the cutting plane. We have to insert that. That cutting plane runs here, one is here. Now I'm going to cut on this cutting plane like we discussed earlier. It's going rough here in my class. Look. Everything's falling. Okay. Now let's finish this one on the front. If I look in the, this is the top view of my pedestal. I look at it from this end. What I see here, I'm going to draw here. Okay. So I'm going to have to project down these different corners first. There we go. There we go. There we go. Also the outside of those lines. Okay, now I start looking at what do I see. If all of this falls away, I'm going to see that inside, so I can know that's going to be nice, and you can see that edge there, and you can look at the front view that's given if you want to double check me. Okay, in line here, there's a step there, then I come back, and then there's again okay, why do I draw this line all the way through to the center? Why do you think? Why does this line go? Sorry, yes, here, that's okay, I can see. Why does this go to here? Because on the inside there is a line running. So my hidden detail will continue on this end. There's my hidden detail, that continues. Can't ignore that. Because remember, this side's not sectioned. Okay. Alright, then on the side, this is also not going to be visible, but we're going to draw its center line in. On this side, it's also not visible, but I'm going to have to draw its hidden detail in. And then there's a surface running here. That's the actual corner, so that's a solid line. Okay, so if I look from the front, these two corners are these here. That hidden detail is what we see here with our center line. And then all of this is hidden detail because that's behind that. On the side that's sectioned, alright, let's do our 45. So evenly spaced here. Okay, if we think about that, is there anything here that I've missed or that you have a question on? Okay, so we have our top view. Do you understand this section here, why it's only half? If you consider the section line cutting plane on top. Alright, to get our right view, we are going to have to do some projection. Let's move that in place. So all of these we're going to project to, check my, alright, so let's go. These I've already projected across. Again, we're just forming a grid here. And now in the right view, you are going to have to envision what is required. They're asking for a full sectional right view of the pedestal, a full deursnee, regteraanzig. Okay, so if this is our front view, we're going to look from the right hand side, enter your arrows here. Call that BB. Let's do that in orange. Okay, now the mistake a lot of learners do is they already think I am looking at this sectional right view or full sectional right view with this part already removed. No, each view is interpreted separately. Nee, baie keer dink kinders nou, as ek hom nou teken, as jy nou dink, dan moet jy nou eintlik net tegnies amper daai deeltjie teken, want hierdie is mos nou klaar weg meneer as ek nou my regteraanzig teken. As ek moet nou van die regterkant af kyk en daar's 'n snitlyn wat daar loop, as hierdie helfte klaar weg. Moenie dit mekaar raak met dit nie. Elke aansig word op sy eie geïnterpreteer. So hier 'n volsnit regteraanzig beteken jy moet nou weer hierdie deeltjie opvul wanneer jy hom hier teken. Okay? En dit is eintlik seker die makliker een van die lot, because this is a symmetrical object. It's going to be quite quick for you to get this correct. So we've got the base here. We're going to have, okay, I know there goes the bell. I'll just finish it quickly. If you you can watch this at your own time when you get back home. But I'd like you to finish this if you can, please. Dankie julle. Alright, thank you. Bye-bye julle. Ja, kan maar even doen. Right, that is page 611 of the HSE Workbook. Now it's your turn.